So I'm sure you've heard your fair share of age jokes over the years, right? And
Oh,
so,
no doubt about it. No doubt about it. Some good ones today.
yeah,
There's always something new.
you can share. So Whitney Merciless was asked about you, and he said, been around. He said good things. He said, been around for a long time, prehistoric, essentially. Is that a new one?
That's fair. That's fair. It comes with the territory, and it's when you have the good fortune of playing this long, I guess it's it's a blessing to be made fun of for that reason. So maybe if it was a little less stops along the way would be a little bit better story. But yeah, nonetheless, it was it's funny, and it was good to hear from the guys.
I take prehistoric as new for you.
Oh yeah, prehistoric is definitely new. Yeah, it's definitely new, and I'll wear that well. It's I guess in our term prehistoric or for some of these young guys like pre-Goodell. So I've been here for a while, and so I don't know what that line is for them that determines but prehistoric pretty much covers it all, so I'll take it.
What about being back home in Texas?
Man, that's surreal for me. I didn't, I was processing that this morning coming in, and just for me, I think really special. And I'll say this just because when I was coming out in 2002, and the franchise was just starting up and drafted David, and there was a part of me that was just like, and it was kind of a foregone conclusion that David was going to get drafted, but there was a part of me that was played down the road at Sam Houston. I was just like hoping maybe something worked out where I ended up here. So so a little bit surreal in that regard. Just had some close opportunities down the throughout the journey with the Cowboys every now and then, but just never quite fit, and so to be home and to be able to do this at home is special, and so I'm very thankful for that.
It was just pointed out to me that you and the Texans, your career and the Texans are the same age.
That's right. That's why I thought it was a great fit, because we could just journey this thing together, and so I think we're both on the same ride, chasing the same thing, so it's funny. I think my view of this franchise, just from and like I said, I go back to pre-draft and everything that went on with bringing in Baselli. Like I followed it closely because it was another team in Texas, and the desire to come here was strong. So things just work out funny, but to be here, 19, almost 20 years later is crazy.
Aaron Wilson.
Hey Josh, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Aaron. How you doing, man?
Good, thank you. Welcome to town. Josh, you think about all the places you played, being a teammate of Emmitt Smith, things like that. What did you soak up along the way, and what kind of still drives you, at your age, to still, be playing football and to be out there with these guys? In many cases, some of them are, young enough they could be your son.
Thanks for reminding me. And trust me, they do too. You just said it, the guys. I think that's what it's about. And it's about team, and it's about serving team and being a part of something. And, was doing that, from a virtual level with Philly. But just logistically for me, where I'm at with my family, just did not make sense, from an active roster thought process to go be a part of something. But I still had that desire to be a part of it. And so for me, I think that's why Houston was a fit, and they offered me the opportunity to be near family, but still be a part of an organization and come be a part of the guys. So I think that's exactly, what it is, and getting to play with guys like Emmitt Smith. And I know, Emmitt Smith was a Hall of Famer when I got to play with him. There was a done deal, so I know I'm not looked at in that light with players, but I do know, and I do appreciate what Emmitt gave to me as a young player. And so I think, for myself, you just try to pay it forward with the young guys, and just how much you can, just impart, as best you can for their journey to make it better. And so I still have a strong desire to do that. And that's why I'm here.
So, Josh, you're still a player. You're playing quarterback for this team. Do you have some coaching aspirations? I know you've done that at the high school level. Is that something that down the road that you're very interested in at this level of being an NFL coach? Not trying to rush your retirement, but just asking, thinking about your future and and some of the things that you might be able to do in that profession.
Yeah, I believe so. If you'd asked me that 10 years ago, I would have said no way. It's not what I want to do at this level. My dream coming out of college, had I not been able to play in the NFL, was to coach high school football here in Texas. And so I really thought that was going to be my path. With the longer I've been in this game and been around these guys, I see real value in being able to be a part of an organization and compete at the highest level. And so yeah, absolutely. When that day comes, could definitely see myself doing that. And hopefully just be able to get in and serve a team and help them and help them in the pursuit of getting better daily and obviously chasing a championship. So yeah, one of these days, whenever that happens, whenever I finally take the cleats off, I definitely see that in the future.
And Josh, what do you hope to impart? Obviously, Deshaun Watson, he's been to the Pro Bowl. He's a young quarterback that's had some success at this level. What do you hope to impart to him? I know right now you're trying to get your feet wet, and this is probably, I guess, the first day you were able to meet him, probably.
Yeah, really just enjoyed watching the whole group work today. I thought the pace and tempo of practice was good. It was upbeat. Guys were moving around, and I often say that the group will go as the quarterback goes. And Friday the ball needs to stay off the ground. It needs to be clean, and I felt that was the case today. It looked good. It looked sharp. And so just excited about getting to know Deshaun and watch him work. So today was just more about just learning everybody. The terminologies and stuff like that. It just, I'll be playing catch up in that regard. AJ was great. TJ Yates was great. Just helping me with that stuff. So, but just watching, Deshaun work and lead his team is fun. And we'll just see how it goes. That's the unique part of this is just, you come and you serve a team and you give of yourself. So whatever I can do to help, and that's what I told him is whatever I can do to help, man, I'm here. And just want to, if anything, but he's Coach Kelly, those guys got him playing at a high level. He's playing lights out right now and really good football and the kind of football you want to be playing this time of year. So for me, it's just learning the system and then, trying to add value wherever they see fit, wherever they need me.
Brandon.
Hey, Josh, it's good to meet you. It's another Sam Houston State guy here.
Right on. Eat them up.
Eat them up. Hey, man, so I wanted to ask, I know you said that you want to contribute in whatever way that you can, but what is it that you want to get out of this experience? I know you're back here with family and all of those things, but what would you like to get out of this experience with the Texans? Well,
I think for me, just kind of what I said, as far as for me, the experience is just that. It's just being in the locker room and being a part of it. And I was at a point where going to Philly and being away from my family, just, that far away from my family just wasn't for me on the table anymore. And so when these guys called an opportunity to actually be in a building and be around the guys, that's what I'm here for. That's what I want to be a part of. And like I said, to in any way I can serve and help, a young quarterback like Deshaun continue to do what he's doing. That's icing on the cake. So really that's what I want to get out of it, is just to be a part of an organization, to be a part of something that, a group of guys coming together, trying to accomplish something, and still have that desire and enjoy playing. Don't get me wrong. But in the situation that I'm in, just to compete and to be a part of something that competes at the highest level, that's what it's about. So this place, because of, logistics and family, this place afforded me that. And so, through a lot of thought and prayer and talking with my family, we decided to do it.
And then also, Josh, how closely have you followed the team story of the season, and what do you make of how things have transpired from the beginning of the season up until now?
Right. Yeah. Not not too closely, enough because we're all in NFL and I'm a fan of this game. So obviously we know what's going on. And anytime, it was a tough schedule going, start the season, and then you go through a coaching change and things like that. Those things are tough. And the leadership of the organization makes decisions, and you as a player, you roll with it and you go, okay, this is the direction we're going. And then, you try to get everybody to get on the same page to get the most out of that. So, from the outside looking in, just seeing that, you understand how difficult that is. But I have been in a few situations like that, unfortunately. And I'll say this, like, I don't know that when you're going through some of that turbulence, again, I go back to today and I look at the tape and look at how we worked and how we practiced today. And the way we practiced today was not reflective of some of those things. So that was encouraging to me. And it's something that these guys, especially the veteran leaders in this locker room, should be proud of. And I think right now is the time to start playing good football. And so you kind of roll through some of those bumps, you get through some of that turbulence, and then things smooth out and you start playing good football. And I think we're poised to do so.
Sarah?
Josh, did you have any conversations when you were making this decision to leave the Eagles practice squad and come here with Jack Easterby? And if you did, how did he influence the decision you made to come here?
Well, I mean, it was we did have conversations, and it was just more of what this team has to offer and why it was a good fit, and just wanting to add experience to the quarterback room, wanting to add, somebody else that could play if needed, if they got down the stretch, and for me, looking for a fit that was closer to home, and I don't know necessarily that I would have made this move, with anybody else other than, somebody that was, a couple hours from the house. So that was the biggest thing. And, the conversations with Jack were just, trying to get to understand, where this team was at, where it was headed, and then, learning a little bit about Deshaun. So that was the main thing, and how best, for me to come and help and serve. Because I think that's the ultimate key is when you're making a decision like that, it's, what can we do? Where do you see me, my role? How can I help you? How can I help be a part of it? And I just knew, just from and it was hard. It was hard to talk to Philly and say, hey, I'm going to go do this for the Texans. But at the end of the day, I knew my heart wanted to be in a building and with the guys, and just doing that from a distance, while it was good, it's not the same. And so that was the biggest thing. So the conversations with Jack were good, just kind of mapping those things out and understanding what the expectation would be.
Did you know Jack at all before this?
Yeah, I knew Jack from some different things, previous, obviously, different stops along the way, and mutual friends, and then, different kind of professional things that we've been involved in. So I did know Jack before, and just, have a ton of respect for him, just who he is, what kind of man he is, and just, his ability to lead and love and serve people, and it's attractive quality, and I think, he's got a vision for how he wants an organization to go, and that was the conversations that we had, was just coming and joining, kind of what he saw as the direction he wanted to take this thing, and so I'm just thankful to be a part of it.
Aaron Reese.
Hey, Josh, you mentioned how Deshaun is playing lights out this season. I'm wondering, as someone who's obviously been around this league a long time and seen a lot of quarterbacks, what stood out to you about what he's doing well this season? And can you think of any sort of comparison of a quarterback playing at this level and it not necessarily translating to wins?
Yeah, that's a fair question. I think it, more than anything, it underscores the value of team. It underscores the value that it takes all of us. Even when you're playing lights out at the position, it takes everybody. And it takes all three phases, and it takes, it's a group effort. And that said, to me, I feel like just, from what I've seen, in the past few years from him, and on the crossover tape, and then watching him this year and kind of start to buzz through the games and get caught up, is I continue to see him processing faster and faster, playing fast and playing from the pocket and getting the ball out of his hand, and then he's got a unique ability to make plays and outside the pocket, and his discernment and how he does that is I think gets better every snap he takes, and that's an encouraging thing for the Texans. And so to me, it's just like I told him. I mean, it's just whatever I can do to help, But he's playing at a very high level, and I think that's reflective of the effort that the coaches have put in. Coach Kelly, Coach Yates, and the way they're working with them. So it's really just keeping him there, but then continuing to chase that next level, and that just I think really it's kind of scary, but he's kind of scratching the surface of how good he really can be, and I think that's going to be fun and beneficial for the Texans moving forward, and so I'm just glad to be a part of it and just want to help however I can.
Okay, we'll take these last three here. Adam.
Hey, talking about Deshaun Watson, do you have any recollection of the 2018 game between the Jets and the Texans? Two young quarterbacks, your guys Sam and Deshaun on the other side, and anything from what Deshaun did that day?
Well, he won the game. You know what I mean? He made some big time throws, and I just think both those guys, and we talked about it because I was telling Sam, because Sam has kind of some of the same out of pocket intangible abilities. But just, we watch these other guys, and a lot of times there's no better teacher than the guy that you're watching on Sunday sometimes, going, well, look at how he processes, look at how he plays. And I just remember him making some big time throws and playing at a high level and then just interacting with him after the game and just how poised he was. So he's, like I said, he's been fun to watch. When you catch him on tape, he's fun to watch. Because he's an exciting player, and watching his growth and how he continues to enhance his knowledge of the game of football and apply it to the field, it has been cool. And I think it's what every young quarterback's chasing. I think you look at the progression of a young player to get better and better and better, and I think there's a way that you want it to look on tape. And you want to see less of some of those things and more of the other things. And I think you see that with Deshaun, and early on, that was the talk with Sam, was just like, that there's a fine line between being able to do some of these things you can do physically, but at the same time winning from the pocket. And there's this beautiful balance that the great players figure out. And I think, like I said in the previous question, I think we're right there with Deshaun. Just what little I've been around him, and so it's exciting for the Houston Texans.
Beyond that post-game interaction with Deshaun, was that all that your prior relationship consisted of?
Yeah, pretty much it. Different people that were around him that just spoke so highly of him and his character and who he is, and obviously followed his career. Remember late in the season in Cleveland, kind of finishing my time there, I knew that drafting a quarterback was possible, and watching some tape and going through those guys, and I just remember watching that final drive in the national championship game, and he back shouldered Renfro up the seam, and I remember putting the clicker down and going, "This dude's good. Like, this dude's really good." And so for me, I've been a fan for a while, and just kind of followed him from afar, and so when you do that, you talk to people close to him or people that are around him, and everything everything that I hear is good. So it's been great to be around him today, and like I said, to watch him work. That was a pro quarterback practice right there. I mean, that was the real deal, and throwing the ball around at a high level and accurate, and it wasn't on the ground, and that's what it's going to take. And so I've just, it's fun, and it's, I think, a privilege to be around unique players like that, especially at the quarterback position. And so I'm very thankful to be here.
Okay, two more. Mark Berman.
Josh, I know that the Eagles, and you talked about you coaching there at one point. Has that come up at all with the Texans about maybe coaching here after you're done playing? That come up yet?
No, man. Obviously, as we said, you asked a question earlier, somebody else asked it. I mean, I think I've, through different interviews, have made that public that's something I want to do once I'm done. And so that's really the extent of it, is just, whenever that day comes, so right now just trying to get the cleats on the right feet and get out there and throw the ball around a little bit. But yeah, we'll cross that bridge whenever that time comes, and that'll again be family decision and things that we talk about. But they understand, as did the Eagles and kind of everybody else, the past 4 or 5 years of my career, that I'm definitely interested in that. And just again, love this game, love being a part of organizations and part of teams, and so we'll see maybe one day in the future.
Last one for Aaron Wilson.
Hey, Josh, last time you got to play for the Eagles, you're in a playoff game and you played a lot of passes, and just your thoughts, self-scouting, let you brag yourself a little bit, just the way you still throw a ball, the way you can still play, if needed, and kind of the quarterback you are at this point in your career. Yeah,
that's a good question. I think unique at some point, everybody's arm starts to deteriorate or go down. But the cool thing about quarterback, and really all positions, but especially at quarterback, is if you can process and play fast with your mind, you can kind of cut the corner, so to speak, with your ability to throw the ball and anticipate. And so for me, throughout my whole career, because I watched Deshaun throw the ball today, and even AJ, those guys can spin the ball, man. So if you've not been a guy that just has a howitzer and you can't throw it through the wall, well, then you have to play a different way. And so I've had to play that way my whole career. So I think that's one of the things that allows for longevity. And so was able to tap into that during that playoff game. The hamstring was another issue, but I felt good playing, and still feel like I'm throwing it the same way. My two sons are 10th and 11th grade high school quarterbacks, so there's really not a time throughout the calendar year, that we're not throwing a football, and so that's served me well, because it just keeps me around and keeps the arm loose, and so I feel really good about that if needed. It's for me, from a playing standpoint, it's more getting caught up on the speed of the terminology more than anything. So yeah.
Thanks, Josh.